Howdy hey, it's our 25th wedding anniversary, and we're going to talk about it here on Bible News Radio that starts right now.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Howdy hey. Welcome to this Tuesday evening. Melanie is here and retweeted on Twitter. And Sacrum something S. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad that you're here. The audio is going to be a little different this evening because I've got the microphone placed, one microphone here placed between us and the level turned up, so you're going to get more of the room noise than the ambiance instead of the more direct sound. But
all right. Hey, I can't. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Can I lean in? Yeah. You thought we were talking. Well, we decided not to. We decided we would come and hang out for a few minutes. I can't hear anything, so I don't know how well it sounds.
I could hear it. That's fine. You're okay.
We're okay. All right.
I've got a dog wrapped around the headphone cord.
Okay. Good. Yeah, and his phone is super little, so I can't read your comments very well. So Bareface is gonna have to
interpret.
Mr. is sitting down here on Bareface's lap.
11.1234 is joined BS. Some dev. They're coming in too fast. They're coming in too fast. I can't stop them. No. Double A Queen 09 is joined. Welcome to broadcast. Dr. Jennifer Fee is joined. Welcome to the broadcast. Holding up that nice little star.
Aw, I know, right? Jennifer is awesome. So is
Dr.
Melanie.
Jennifer Fee's joined again.
Yep, and then she
because
left.
one isn't good enough. Did
she give us a superstar or whatever? I can't. No. No. She's got a gold. Jennifer is a gold. Congratulations,
thank you, Doc. Appreciate that. Mopar 2518 is joined.
Jennifer's
Food, 126 total or tote 1256 or something like that. All of you coming in, welcome to the broadcast. I know you're leaving just as fast as you're coming because the number is going down as fast as it's going up.
Because we're that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Randall was telling me today he was wondering why people are so fascinated by us as a couple. And I said, because I'm fascinating. And you just happen to be my sidekick. Oh, we don't accept super hearts? Oh, you know what? Because we're on Wirecast.
We don't smoke pot either.
If we actually did this on our regular thing, it would actually accept super hearts. But because we're using Wirecast, it's not. But anyway, thank you for coming in. Thank you for those hearts. Totally appreciate it. I can't read any of your things. Hey, is that Shannon Mattern? Hey, Shannon.
Oh.
Nice to see you. Hey, Shannon, congratulations, by the way. Congratulations on leaving your company soon and launching your own company.
Yeah,
and going full-time with that. That is so awesome. You're totally inspiring to me. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
Trying to catch you when I can. And you guys should all follow Shannon because she rocks. She's a WP-BFF, right? Yeah. WordPress. Your WordPress BFF. Yeah, hey, that's why we're here, to offer support. And there's Mia. Mia's in the house, and I can't see anybody else. Sorry, I'm going to have to get really super close before I can see. Yeah, MILF. Oh, thank you for that. I feel so honored that you would consider me worthy enough to do that too.
Yeah, she's a married woman.
Yeah, here's the ring, just so you can see it. Wait, I don't know if anybody can see it right there. Yeah. Tell me the secret to 25 years.
Gladly.
Go ahead.
Well, on my part...
That guy is a hottie. I totally agree.
On my part, when I had this wedding ring made 25 years ago here, this is my ring.
And there's Vicky Hanky.
Custom made. Anyway, on there, it's pretty simple except for that cross that's there in the sort of engraved into the band. And that is there to remind me of Ephesians 5:25. And Ephesians 5:25, for informations, reads,
For your informations. Do you like his English?
"Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it." So that is, when I look at that cross on the ring, I'm reminded how Christ loved the church and gave himself for her in a way that was self-sacrificing. And for going to make you cry,
Aw, don't cry.
So
You don't
so
have
my
to
part,
cry.
though I do it far from perfectly, my goal is to, so love my wife
That's me.
as Christ loved the church.
Isn't he lucky?
and gave himself for her. So,
Well, and Shannon, the thing is we look at here's the truth. My mom was married 3 times. His mom was married 3 times. His dad's been married twice. My dad's been married 4 times. Mm-hmm. And most of those marriages ended in divorce, right? So there is a history of divorce in our lineup. And the thing is
vampire voice.
yeah, that's it right there.
I don't want to suck your blood. No.
But here's the thing, and there was a lot of abuse, sexual abuse in my background, and and there's sexual abuse in Randall's background. He wasn't sexually abused, but there's incest in his family and domestic violence, and a whole bunch of other fun, great sins that have been passed on. And I'm just going to say that for us, the difference is Christ. Hands down, it's Christ as the center of the marriage. And I'm just going to say that, 3 years into our marriage, we got separated. We were separated for 8 months, and but it was a healthy separation. It wasn't where
22nd anniversary.
It wasn't like we were separated and we were out doing philandering or anything like that. It had nothing to do with that. We were trying to save our marriage, and after we went through that, we went through a lot of marriage counseling. For probably about 7 years, off and on, we went through marriage counseling, and then after that, it's like we figured, finally how to communicate and to overcome the sins against us that caused the problems in our stuff. And so, to me, honestly, the greatest gift I've ever been given is this man here. I mean, aside from my salvation, Randall's the biggest gift in my life. And that's the truth.
Oh.
Yep.
Thank you, love. What do I think?
Watching the delayed reaction is fun. It's like, wait, hold on, 10 seconds. Just watch that replay. But it's true. I mean, we wouldn't, he put me through graduate school and supported me here with Bible News Radio and And of course he's a pastor at heart, even though he doesn't claim that title, but I call him Pastor Bareface, and stuff. So, the greatest, to me, honestly, the greatest compliment we get is when people say that our marriage inspires them.
Yeah.
Honestly, because we didn't have children, and part of the reason why, we went through all the recovery that we did was because I didn't want to pass down the curse that was passed down to us. And I wanted to make sure that we had worked through the stuff so that we didn't pass it down. And yet, at the same time, we didn't get kids, but God's given us a different platform where we get to influence and encourage other people. So the secret, Shannon, I would say there's a couple, and it might sound trite because a lot of people say it, but it's really true. God gave you two ears and one mouth, and that's a big part of it right there. The other part is that is learning how to deal with the baggage you bring into the marriage and learning to really understand the other person's language. If you can understand their language and learn to speak their language, then it's pretty much gold from there. But the problem is a lot of people don't do that. And hardness of heart is a big part of it. If you harden your heart, you know, then that's not going to help anybody. But if you keep your heart soft, then God can work that out, and you can actually learn that the marriage isn't really about you. And for Randall and me, it really is. Our prayer is that our marriage is truly a reflection of Christ and his church. You know, and we're not perfect, as you know, but
well aware of that.
But it's good. It's good. It's more than good.
Yeah, if you're in marriage in hopes to change the other person,
yeah, good luck with that.
then yeah, you're going to be, both of you will be sorely frustrated and disappointed.
Yeah.
So, you know, work on changing ourselves, allowing God to change us.
Yeah. And, you know, the other thing, too, I'm really happy. I've been married longer than anybody in my family that I know of. To one person. To the only person. And to me, that, I give God all the glory for that. Being married longer than my dad or my mom. You know, his dad's been married for 45 years, I think. And that woman is a saint. I can just tell you that right now.
But Sharon, congratulations on your
thank
42
you, Andrea.
years of marriage.
Yeah, we're not that old yet, so we can't. But yeah, that's awesome. And you know what? I hope we get to live. I hope we get 50 years of marriage and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Jonah. Who says who?
Well, they're saying that you've been called to that.
Oh.
Are you? And you're being disobedient, evildoer. So, but anyway, and
who is our fan here?
I don't know.
Emma O. Watts.
Yeah. Oh, you want to block them?
No. They're obviously
Hey, Rob.
Sensitive to spiritual things.
I can't see I'm not on my phone, so I can't see all of the people that are in here. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can ask us. We'd be happy to give you our opinion. Anyway, you know, they're saying don't block me, Pastor.
I don't block anybody.
I do. Watch out. That's the difference between me and him. I will block you. I'll be like, really? Come here.
I figure people don't like what they're seeing or hearing. There is that magic white X in the upper right corner.
Yeah. I don't have his patience. Although I'm a lot more patient than I used to be.
True. It's a fact, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Thanks, Kathy. Now, I have to get really close because I'm sorry. How do you deal with wrath in marriage when you get in a big disagreement? You know what? That's a good question. And do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said wrath. That's really important.
Hey, Rick.
Ephesians chapter 4, I want to say verse 26.
I think you're right.
For...
My glasses are actually downstairs.
Yeah. Some English translations talk about don't let the sun go down on your anger.
Hey, Pastor Pete.
Hey,
how come you're not
Senor Pedro.
How come you're not following these people?
I am.
How come they're not showing up?
I don't know. I've always wondered that. It's like I follow these people, but they don't
Thanks,
always
Pastor.
show up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Hey, by the way, Pastor Pete is our guest Thursday night, I think. Right? I think so. All right, so go ahead and answer the question. I'm going to get my phone so I can see people.
Anyway, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. Using the King James because I think it's a little closer to the original Greek than other English translations. But be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. And I think the next verse is important. Neither give place to the devil. I'm sorry about my wonky highlighting there, but
there you are, right there. Okay.
Highlighting there, but there's an echo in here.
Yes, I know.
Echo in here.
Oh, see, now I can see everybody.
All right, so.
All right.
There. Anyway, don't let the sun go down in your wrath. So I appreciate that you asked about wrath, because anger is anger. Anger is an emotional response to some kind of hurt or frustration. That just happens. It's hard to keep from being angry. No, it didn't save y'all some ice cream. We ate it all. And
Randall ate most of it. Just so you know, Randall ate most of it because I
True.
generally don't eat ice cream.
Yeah.
But it was the sentiment that counted.
Yeah.
True story. I got to be careful with ice cream.
But anyway, so anger is anger. It's just an emotional response to some sort of hurt or frustration, something like that. It is what it is. Emotions are just what they are, and we can be angry without sinning. The halo top, that's okay. Reminds me of ice milk.
That stuff actually, Vicky, I actually can eat that okay. That's the thing.
Thanks, Rick, again for the well wish there. But
they're all
anyway.
set up here on ours.
All right, don't let the sun go upon your wrath. Now, wrath is something else. Wrath is, I'm going to get even. I'm going to, somebody has to pay for this. Sometimes, wrath is well, I can say sometimes it's righteous, but only in the case of God. The day of his wrath was coming, and there have been times of his wrath. He's the one who can in complete righteousness and justice execute wrath, but not us humans. We can't execute wrath righteously or justly. So the admonition is not to let the sun go down upon your wrath, and that wrath is wrath of God, neither righteous nor justice. So wrath is, okay, you got to pay for this. I don't get mad, I get even, kind of attitude. And so don't let the sun go down on that, because neither give place to the devil. When you do that, when you start harboring this resentment, this, someone's going to pay for this, someone's got to pay, or I'm going to get even, then that one starts to rob you of your joy, but sets up for worse things, giving the devil a foothold. We read in Hebrews, the letter to the Hebrews, about warns about a root of bitterness springing up, lest you be defiled. Yeah, a recipe of sin, indeed, Pastor P.
Pastor Pete.
Senor Pedro.
Pastor Pete.
Anyway, so, we look at the, going postal, people who walk in a workplace and shoot it up. They didn't just wake up one day and say, what, I'm going to kill my coworkers. I'm going to, it would start off as, that they hurt me, whatever, and they just ruminate on that, meditate on it. Well, they got to pay. Somebody's got, and then the wrath builds up, and eventually, when it's full grown, it'll work its way out and even murder and root of bitterness. That's right, Kathy. So the admonition, not let the sun go down upon your wrath, that's excellent advice when you find yourself, somebody's got to pay for that. So when it was marriage, it's like, I'm going to get back at her. I'm going to show her whatever. We need to check that. We need to check that right away. Check that code at the door ASAP. Because anger uncontrolled produces wrath. That's right. Yeah, you can be angry and sin not.
Thank you, Vin, for saying that all the way in Australia.
Indeed.
So, can I answer the question?
Yeah, I'll stop rattling on and rambling.
Well, I think there's, how do you overcome that, or how do you not let it happen? I think a couple of things I've learned. Number one, you got to recognize your own trigger. Right? You got to recognize what triggers you and what sets you off, right? Because there's usually something that will set you off, right? I mean, it can be anything, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Becoming aware of what it is first that sets you off. Once you realize that, then you can begin to prepare an action plan, which sounds crazy, but it's actually helpful, because if you realize what. Like, for example, tonight.
It's the accident before it happens.
Yeah,
like that.
But here's an example. This will be maybe seem like a silly example, but tonight we were given ice cream unexpectedly at dinner. right, as a way to celebrate our anniversary from the sweet waitress who was only 18 years old. And my first thought was, oh, dang it, I can't eat ice cream. Dang it, because that sucks, you know. It's like, you know. But, you know, I thought, no, okay, I'll have a couple of spoonfuls. I'll be fine with that. But, you know, that was my action plan right there. It's like knowing that if I'm going to get something that is not going to I'm not going to be able to tolerate well, here's my way of escape. And so to have your trigger, understand what it is, have a way of escape. And as my friend Dana said many, many, many years ago, she was one of the first women that mentored me in marriage. She said, learn to unplug. So if you realize your anger is welling up and you're beginning to get to that place, you got to learn to literally unplug and walk away. Now, it doesn't mean, and a lot of people do this, they'll walk away and they'll get pissed off, they'll walk away and slam doors and all that. And Randall and I had to learn that if one person has abandonment issues, or even if both do, then that fear of walking away can be really high. So what we had to do is learn to reframe that and say, okay, I'm going to walk away for a half hour. I'll be back in 30 minutes. And then, of course, you keep your word and until you get time to cool down and then be rational about it. And we actually, unplug, but don't disconnect. Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And we literally had 10 steps that we went through when we went through our counseling. And the first step was to set up a time when we could talk about it. And there was times me and Randall couldn't even do that. We were so mad that we couldn't even agree on the time to set up. So you struggle with unfinished arguments. Yeah. Well, and you know, it's hard because if it's really hard and that is hard because a lot of people, that's what they'll do. The thing I learned as a therapist is that the fight people are fighting about is usually never really the real fight. There's usually something that's set off way back, and it's the same type of thing in it. And it all really goes down to expectations, if you think about it. Yeah. You know, what your expectations are. Yeah, and most people don't know how to explain what their expectations are. So that's another thing you got to learn how to communicate.
Yeah, and I think it's important to choose our battles carefully and prayerfully.
That's what he always says.
I mean,
is this really worth fighting over?
Exactly. You know, I think of just a scriptural example. It's not a marriage example, but it's just an example. I forget what city it was in. Was it in Ephesus? It's in the book of Acts somewhere.
I don't know.
Some pastor. I'm not a pastor.
Pastor Bareface.
But where
he is a pastor.
Because
Pastor Bareface. Hey, if Greg can be Pastor Greenbeard and Pastor Pete can be Pastor Pete, he can be Pastor Bareface.
Yeah, it was Ephesus because you know, Paul was he was there preaching the gospel, and then this tumult.
Bear is in B-E-A-R.
Got stirred up in the town, and people gathered in the arena there. A lot of people didn't know why they're there anyway, and Paul was going to go in there. He says, well, let me go in there and set this straight. And his companion said, no, you don't go in there, you know, they'll rip you to shreds. But everybody says, no, anyway. And they talked him out of it eventually. Sorry about I interrupted the focus there.
Oh, that's okay. My back was itchy.
But
I had to scratch it.
Oh, I did that because I think I put my hand out there and it tried to, yeah.
Oops, okay. We thought it would be more fun for me to sit on this side of the table.
Anyway.
But it's really super uncomfortable, to be honest, because, like, I'm really uncomfortable.
Anyway, short story long, Paul was dissuaded from going in, and eventually the thing worked itself out. You know, one of the city leaders came in, blah, 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 calmed people down, and people went home without any sort of riot breaking out or anything like that. Now, if Paul had gone in there, it probably would have gone, you know, from bad to worse, and he wouldn't have fared very well, and the city wouldn't have fared very well. But, you know, so to me, that's just an example of, you know, much bigger scale than just two people. It was a whole city involved, but choosing your battles carefully. Fortunately, there were some people there to give him some godly wisdom to say, no, this isn't your battle. Even though it was about him going in this, spreading the gospel, the time and the place wasn't for him. It wasn't his battle, and things worked out anyway.
Can I say one other thing?
2 if you want, or 3.
One of the other ways that you can be successful in marriage, and this isn't going to be really super popular to say, is submission. Because the Bible talks, the man, I feel like I get irritated with Bible teachers who hammer that women should submit to their husbands.
Their own husbands.
Right, but the problem, and it's not that I have a problem with that, because I actually don't. I don't have a problem submitting to Randall at all. But the problem is that it goes both ways. The Bible tells husbands also to submit to their wives. Right? I mean, as unto the Lord. So if you're both submitting unto the Lord, then in the truest sense of the word submit, if you're both submitting unto the Lord and to each other, then you're answering to a higher authority, which is Christ. And the thing is most people don't, for some reason, teach that. And I don't understand, because it's right there in the Bible that wives are supposed to submit to their husbands, and husbands are to love their wives as Christ loves the church. See, this is where I get irritated with feminists, because they'll go, well, I can't, those Christians, yeah. And they put women under there and blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's my snarky way of saying what feminists say. But they don't know what they're talking about, because if you actually have a real godly man who loves you as Christ loves the church, then it is so easy to submit to them, because they're actually really loving you and giving themselves up for you. They have the hardest job. Right? I mean, a man who really is submitting unto God and loving his wife like Christ loves the church has the hardest job. It's super easy to submit to that as a woman, because heck, the Bible doesn't tell me to die for Randall, but it tells him to die for me. And I think that there is, there's, for the man that takes that super seriously and actually does it, the wife cannot be happy. I mean, that's not the right word. Can't not be happy, because you got a man who's willing to die for you. And one thing I've actually had to learn, this is the truth, is that really Randall does look out for my best interest. I've never ever had anybody else in my life really do that. And once I got it through my thick head that he actually cares about me, like when we're driving, and sometimes I think we're going to die because he's driving, he's always told me, you know what, he would eat a cricket for me. That's right. What? But he always said, don't worry, I'm not going to try to kill you. And I'm like, are you sure? Because it feels like you're going to kill us right now in this car. But I always remember, he's like, no, my goal isn't to kill you. Can you tell a story of how you met and fell in love? Yeah, we could tell you that.
Long, long time ago.
You want to tell it?
Well, we met at a church in Southern California, because Stacy took a wrong turn one day looking for somewhere else and passed this church.
I was actually on my way to therapy, my very first therapy appointment. That's what I was on my way to. True story.
But you didn't stop at the church, you just made a mental note of it.
Yeah.
Thought, hey, maybe on Sunday I'll go visit that church.
Yeah, it was completely I was in Orange County, and I lived in like Riverside County, so it was like.
Hey, Bill Krause, welcome to Periscope.
It was like a half hour from where I normally lived.
Yeah.
So then I made a mental note. I ended up visiting the church. Randall greeted me. He invited me to Sunday school. Then he invited me to volleyball. And when we were at volleyball, and right after volleyball, we went out to get dessert or dinner or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there on the bench, and God told me, this is going to be your husband. I swear, that was exactly what happened. The thought went in my head, this is your husband. He came over, I was sitting down, and he's 6'1", I'm 5'4", so that gives you an idea of height differentiation.
See, all right.
I was looking up, and he came over, and he started asking questions, and the Lord said to me, that's going to be your husband. And my thought was, wow, that's pretty cool. In my mind, that was my thought. And I never pursued a relationship with him because I already knew he was going to be my husband. Literally the day I met him, I knew that. So, but it was like 2 years 2 years and 3 days to the day we met, we got married.
Yeah.
So,
and
it was probably started with this song.
Yeah, because soon after she visited that church, Sunday school, the Sunday school class, which was a singles class, it wasn't a meat market kind of Sunday school class, though. No. Nothing like that.
He was like one of the youngest people there.
Yeah. Anyway, I led a monthly time of prayer and praise at somebody's house, but I led the worship and just facilitated the prayer time, led the time. And then after sharing the time of worship, and I think maybe we'd been in the prayer time. Anyway, Stacy asked if she could share a song. I said, sure. So I passed her the guitar, and she played this beautiful song that she wrote. And I said, wow, I really, really love that song. I'd like to get together with you and record it. You know, work up an arrangement for it, record it. And so we did that.
Well, wait, though. But see, the thing is, I thought he was full of baloney, because I had a guy that I dated prior to him who told me the same thing, and he never did record it. And I was like, yeah, right, all these musicians, guys, they lie, blah, blah. But actually, he didn't. I was surprised by that. Oh.
Yeah, so she wasn't thrilled with the recording process, but...
No, it was hard. Well, and the funny thing is he lived in an apartment with his friend Brad, and his recording studio was this 4-track mixer.
Cassette machine.
Yeah, and so we had to go into his bedroom and actually do this recording, which was like a nightmare. It was like, ugh. And we had to sing it like forever and for always, and it was like, and we actually have that song. It's on YouTube. You can search for it. It's called "You Are My Strength," and I wrote that, and Randall arranged it, and yeah.
Anyway, so that time spent together, I came to realize that she was someone who thought and felt deeply just about stuff and about life, which I found very attractive, and we just started spending more and more time together. And anyway, that's kind of the short version.
It went all downhill from there. I'm just kidding. So, well, and you know, it's weird is that, I don't know, it's just weird. Aw, sweet, and the rest was history.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, but how he proposed was really the story to tell. How Randall proposed was epic, because he proposed to me after I had been... Well, no, let me back up. See, I was single. Well, obviously I was single at the time. I was living in a house in Brea with three other women, and Randall asked me to go dancing one night. Well, I don't dance. I was like, whatever. But I wanted to spend time with him, so I was like, okay, I'll go out. I'll go dancing. So I went to my job, which was a temp job. Randall had been secretly paying part of my rent, like...
Secretly?
For a while. Well, yeah, it started out anonymously, and then I figured it out. He was helping me. And anyway, long story short, this one particular day, I knew he was going to propose to me. And I was telling everybody, I'm going to get proposed to tonight. He's going to propose. And then he came to pick me up, and actually he called me up, and he's like, are you feeling up to going out tonight? And I'm like, nah, I'm having my period, and I'm thinking... nah, this isn't gonna work for me. And I was totally messing with him. I told him afterwards. And he's like, oh, no, it's okay, it's alright, blah, 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 blah. But no, I was like, no, it's okay. So anyway, he came, and he,
Hello, Billy.
He, picked me up in his pickup truck with a camper shell, which had no air conditioning in it. And we drove forever.
But it was like January, so...
Yeah. And anyway, he ended up driving forever, and I'm like, where are we going? You know, are we ever going to get there? I'm like super hungry.
Thank you.
And the long story short, he pulled off and pulled into a Carl's Jr. drive-thru, and we ordered some food, and then he pulled over into a parking lot. And I'm like, all right then. We had never actually eaten at in our car, in the whole time we dated. We never did that. That was weird. And then he put in a Twyla Paris's tape, which said there was a song called "The Child Inside" that he wanted me to hear. And he got out of his truck, went to the back of it, and
We're young.
And he started setting up a table with some china and some candles, and anyway, he set that all up in the parking lot. And then he opened the door and let me out and sat down at the table. There. Was there a child in the camper cell?
No.
No. But but here it was. This is the funny thing. So we're eating in this parking lot in the middle of January, and it's dark out, and we have candles, and people are driving by going, like, pointing, like, what the heck's that guy doing with that girl sitting there at this thing?
Fine dining in the parking lot.
And the whole time I'm like, okay, he's going to propose to me. And then he didn't. And I'm like, what the heck? And he was wearing this really ugly corduroy jacket that I didn't like. And I don't even know why he wore it that night except to irritate me. And apparently that
I don't know why she didn't like it. You didn't tell me that until later.
But he handed me a certificate of guarantee for the diamond ring that he gave me. And then I looked at it. And then he got down on his knee and he asked me to marry him. Mm-hmm. And my response was, at that point, I was totally like, I was like shocked at that point. I didn't actually know what to say. But then I finally said yes, with a big long ah in front of it.
Yes. She had to think about it for several seconds.
And then the funny part was he had the ring, and I'm like, are you going to put that on my finger or not? Because he's like, he didn't know what to do after I said yes. But what was cool was he had literally planned this whole thing with the singles group, and there was a planned party afterwards that we went to afterwards. There was an engagement party that he had set up, and so we went to that. We didn't end up going dancing because the place was closed.
That was a surprise. So
I was happy about that. And then, and that was in January, and then we got married on August 15th. After God gave us...
In theory. I've been a romantic in theory.
After God gave us the wedding date in the Bible, actually, too. So there's even a kind of a cool story even there, where August 15th was literally the date that God gave me. Because we were trying to debate between August 8th, 15th, 22nd, or 29th, and two people in our wedding party had birthdays on the 22nd and the 29th. I didn't want to do it on the 8th, so we opted for the 15th. And I was behind in a Bible study, and one night it was a couple days after Randall proposed, and I was trying to catch up on my Bible study, and I read this verse, and it said, on the 15th day of the 8th month, they set aside a day for a festival. And I was like, 15th day of the 8th month, and I counted to 8. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like totally... That's August. You know, of course, I didn't know that. And in biblical times, it wasn't August, but to me, it was August. So God even gave us our wedding date. And, I mean, who does that? Right? I mean, who does that? Right? Are you blinking on purpose?
Yeah.
Because of what that person said?
Yeah, I'd rather blink twice. I would blink Morse code, which I just did.
You did?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a short story of our long history of marriage and stuff, and so happy anniversary. Thank you. Callie Q. I can't read very well.
Yep, Callie Q.
What's your first name?
Born and raised in Cali. Mom to 4 sons. Well, good for you.
Wow.
That's cool.
Great to hear your story. Yeah, well, there's lots more to that. Susan, okay. Hi, Susan. Thanks for coming in. Any other questions? I know that a certain woman went on right now during our time. Just kidding about that. All right, so what part of California are you in, Susan? Because we actually moved to Tennessee from California 4.5 years ago, actually.
Nice to meet you both. Likewise.
Burnside, Biz. Kiss. Oh, you're in Mission Viejo? Oh, cool. Well, we lived in Orange, so we were very close. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, this is not our normal Bible News Radio show, but is this Bible News Radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's on the...
So we should thank our sponsor.
We probably should.
We do have a sponsorship thingy.
Yes, we want to thank Ariel Ministries. Find them online at ariel.org. As you can see on the screen, they are a non-profit organization dedicated to evangelizing primarily Jewish people, but also discipling Jewish and Gentile believers in Messiah. And they have lots of resources that are available for free for download and print and audio, video, stuff like that. But part of the way their ministry is funded is through selling some of their resources. And when you purchase anything from their site, you can save 20% anytime on every time on anything when you use the coupon code Bible News. They wanted us to call to your attention a special they're currently offering, and that is this D.L. Cooper Messianic series, written by the late Dr. David L. Cooper. This is a 7-part series bundle for $32, which you can save an additional 20% on when you use that coupon code Bible News, bringing it down to $25, $26, something like that. Anyway, 7 books available in this bundle: The God of Israel, Messiah, His Nature in Person, Messiah, His Redemptive Career, Messiah, His First Coming Scheduled, Messiah, His Historical Appearance, Messiah, His Glorious Appearance Imminent, and Messiah, His Final Call to Israel. And what's cool about this series, written between the 1930s and 1960s, these particular books, and so they were written before, many of them were written before Israel was reborn as a nation, born in a day, and before any blood moons or any kind of hype like that, so it's not tainted with some of the hype that's been around recently. It's just good, solid biblical material, so I invite you to check it out.
Yeah. And don't forget, you can also become a pillar of our community, like so many of you who are still in here and haven't abandoned our scope for somebody else's. Just go over to BibleNewsRadio.com/give, and we request a $25 a month donation, and that goes towards helping us feed ourselves and our animals, Mr. and Gideon the cat, and also we put you into our special Facebook group. In fact, we actually have our monthly meetup in 2 weeks, I think. Well, anyway, you guys know that. Plus, you get 20% off all my courses that we've launched, and I want to thank you guys for buying our course. Those of you who bought it, thank you for doing that. If you're not familiar,
enrolled in the course. Yeah,
if you're not familiar with it, you can go over to our Twitter account, which is at Bible News Radio, and the pinned tweet there, it gives you 10% off our first course, which is called Stop Lying to Yourself, Your Secrets Are Not Secret. The Cost of Becoming Real. And I've gotten some good feedback on it from the people who are in it. And just saying, I think it's really good, so you should get it. And it's very affordable. I didn't charge $500 for it. I charged $29 for it, and you get 10% off that. If you're just a regular listener, and if you're a pillar, you get 20%. So
and
it's
the
very
30-day
affordable.
money-back guarantee.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I think that's it, right, for announcements.
Yeah.
Now tomorrow on the show we have an author who has written a book about her experience raising twins that she adopted, and she adopted them and then found out after she adopted them that they both had autism. And so we're going to actually have, her name I believe is Carla Atkins. She's going to be on our show talking about autism and how to deal with it. And I'm not sure yet if her kids are going to be with her. They're adults now. They're like in their 20s. But if so, we'll go ahead and get to interview all 3 of them and learn a little bit about what it's like to parent an autistic child, and if you know anybody with autism or that has that issue, you can actually refer them to a really good biblical resource on the topic. So that's our guest tomorrow. And then Thursday we have Pastor Pete, which everybody loves here on Periscope. Pastor Pedro, Pastor P to most people, but he said I can call him Pastor Pete because I'm special. So we will have him. And then I think in 2 weeks we got Laura Royer coming on. I got Pastor Greenbeard coming up on the show sometime. Mr. just dropped off Randall's lap. And Tommy is coming up next week. Pastor Tommy's coming up. Rick is coming up in a couple of weeks. So yeah, so we got some really good people coming up, and I got a lot of. I'm almost booked completely through September, and I'm already booking for October. So, and I'm getting Alveda King on here in October, and all that. So it's gonna be really good. So they're all very good. Yes, they are. Yep, but I don't do it for them, just for them. I do it for the audience because the audience is, you guys are the most important part of the show here.
Needs to be a speaker, like
a
woofer, a tweeter, or what sort of speaker?
He actually is a speaker. He speaks for the Gideons International.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, didn't somebody recently tell you at a chamber meeting or something you were the best speakers they ever heard?
Something like that.
Yeah. It's true. You're anointed.
Well,
I don't use the word often, but it's true. He's anointed to speak, and he's a good speaker. Orator, is that right? Orator. That's what I meant to say. I'm from New York, so I just I'm a gifted communicator. In case you haven't noticed.
That's right. CVLX, just CV.
My back really itches right now.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, so shall we wrap this up?
I think so. We have some liquid to go drink.
All right. Well, let's.
I'm thirsty. Yeah, that's my.
Let's cue the music then.
All right. Unless you all have any more questions or comments, then we'll take those, and then if not, enjoy the rest of your anniversary. Wrap it up with Randall praying. Hey, who are you exactly? Do we know you?
CVLX, I don't know.
Tell us your name. Where are you coming in from? Apparently you know who Bareface is. Who are you following?
There's a CV1X. I don't know.
It's not following anybody.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever. You're in
It's
Texas.
off the music then.
Texas. Where are you at in Texas? Well, you never know. You never know how one person can change your life forever. In Houston, you got a problem. Okay, all right. I know. You probably hate hearing that, right? That's funny. All right, it's not that funny, but it is funny.
All right. Well.
Right. All right, go ahead and take us out, Bareface.
All right, I will do that.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Or tomorrow on Snapchat, you'll see me at Pickleball, depending on, if you got on there, if I do it or not. Hey, Nancy. Hello, Tennessean. Nice to see you. We're actually just getting ready to leave. But thank you for coming in and giving us hearts. It's very sweet. We're trying to get to 10 million. When we get to 10 million hearts, I'm going to do a giveaway of something. I don't know what, though. But it will be something.
All right. Well, all right. Shall we pray?
If you want to, yes.
Doing well. Thank you.
We are doing well, Nancy. Thank you for asking. We're just wrapping up our 25th anniversary scope here, and I'm sure you've probably celebrated 25 years of marriage yourself, so you probably have even more wisdom than we do, right? And baby Bobby is still here.
2.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let us pray. Father God, we're thankful for every good and perfect gift that you send our way. Lord, I'm thankful for my beautiful bride of 25 years. Certainly thankful for all the people who are celebrating with us this evening. Thank you for providing a way for us to gather together virtually here over the internet, but still enjoy fellowship. We are mostly thankful for the fellowship that you offer to us through Yeshua, through Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah, and through whom we can have relationship with you, certainly fellowship with others that believe, and that we are able to walk in the light as you are in the light. God, we know that we're not perfect, which is why we need a Savior. But help us to draw closer to you, endeavor to walk in your ways, and that as we yield ourselves to you, we trust that you will transform us into the image of your own dear Son. Help us to be better, more attractive and more effective ambassadors for your kingdom. We thank you, we praise you, we commit ourselves to you and our futures to you in the name of Yeshua, our Messiah. So, Lord bless you, keep you, make his face shine upon you, lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. And remember to be bold, stand up, and go with God.
And Nancy, wait. Congratulations on 18 years of marriage in
Indeed.
October. Hey, you know what? Marriage is hard. Well, unless you're married to barefaced, then it's piece of cake.
Oh.
But yeah, and any congratulations.
Indeed.
All right, so with that, we'll say thank you all for coming in and being part of our day. Now me and Randall are going to go drink some wine that we got for free recently from somebody. Actually, I got to tell you this. We went to this hotel. We were going to try to find out if they had a hot tub, because we were going to go sit in a hot tub, but they don't have one. And we're like, but it's our 25th anniversary. So the lady went behind the desk and gave us a little bottle of wine. Now, this is the funny part, okay? We weren't staying at the hotel. We had just walked into the hotel. So she gave us wine. This little bottle. Anyway, I don't drink usually, but it was funny. So.
All right.
It's like that big, so we'll probably get 3 sips out of it, and I'll be asleep.
Right.
I'll be like.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
Right.
So congratulations, and yeah, take it easy, okay?
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, won't have Melanie, but thanks.
I don't get drunk. Yeah.